You're welcome to my Father Taught Me series, The Dilemma of the World. Series 20, titled Divine Justice, Africans of the Earth, the Jewels of the Most High. Dear beloved brethren of the world, messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ, all believers, body of Christ, let us understand one thing here. No man and no human being can chart the ways of the Most High. The Most High is impartial, perfect, and righteous in all his ways. The Most High is the final judge of all things. Now, let us speak about the divine justice, Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High. A lot is known and has been said about the way the dark-skinned Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High, have been and are being maltreated, even in some parts of their own Africa and all over in the world. It is a statement of fact that some evil people living in the spirit of the flesh within most communities of the world, who are allergic to the commandments of the Most High, which is the manual of life and humanity and the truth of history, of whom they are the evil spirit possessed of the serpents carrying the insanity of hatred in their hearts against the dark-skinned Africans of the earth all over the world. This class of people represents the following vices. 1. They are the evil handiwork of the hate spirit of the serpents and their legions residing in the hearts of some communities living in both sides of the world. 2. They are bereft of the spirit of humanity. 3. They bear the full trademark of their master, the serpent of Babylon. 4. They use many instruments and vices of serpentine origin by way of ideologies. That's number 1. 2. Religions. 3. Traditions. 4. Distorted history. 5. Philosophies. 6. Sciences. And even the twisted and misquoted portions of the Holy Bible, etc. All of which undermine the basic contention of the immutable commandments of the Most High, along with the consequences as contained in the manual of life, the Holy Scriptures of the Bible. Unfortunately, most parts of the world are guilty from available historical facts and records concerning this matter of the bigotry of racism against the dark-skinned race from Africa in particular and all over the world in general. However, there are some grievous mistakes that we all make on both sides of the divide ignorantly. That is, the ways of the justice and judgments of the Most High concerning racism and many other things we do against the commandments of the Most High, which commandment is the benchmark of justice. Even according to the gravity of offense and the scale of consequences of the judgment in the eyes of the Most High. More often than not, in our understanding of situations, we omit or disregard or overlook the consequences of the act of breaking the commandments of the Most High in any way. Just as Adam did when he ignored the consequences given by the Most High if he ate the forbidden fruit. If by choice he broke the commandment of the Most High, so are other consequences on other issues of either side of human conflicts. Only the Most High has the capacity to judge appropriately. Hence, he said in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 19, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Most High." Therefore, when we discuss issues of the divine justice, Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High, we need some spiritual understanding of the way of the divine justice of the Most High. It is also important that we understand the way of the commandments of the Most High as to know how to fulfill it to avoid unpalatable consequences out of our ignorance, and to receive the enlightenment of the mind clearly, that none of us can fulfill the commandments of the Most High on our own, except through the righteousness of Christ. Let's understand first the nature of the judgment of justice of the Most High. Number one, the judgment of justice of the Most High is a double-edged sword, which is 100% compliant with enforcement of penalty upon breaking the commandments of the Most High. Not even a hiding place for an atom of matter that breaks the commandment of the Most High. There is no exemption of the penalty on both sides of the divide, starting from Adam to this day, who was the first example to suffer penalty as consequences for breaking the law. Two, the oppressor and oppressed were most likely at other points in time involved in breaking the commandments of the Most High, and we, more often than not, are all at both sides equally guilty. Here is an example that Christ gave concerning this guilt and judgment issue in the book of John chapter 8 verse 7 to 11. So, when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, "He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her." And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Christ was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Christ had lifted up himself, and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, "Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee?" She said, "No man, Lord." And Christ said unto her, "Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more." Another example is the sin of idolatry, which is the number one tradition-induced culprit in the breaking of the commandments of the Most High. We shall also note that the Most High has zero tolerance for idolatry and injustice, no matter who is involved, whether it's our brothers, sisters, parents, uncles, friends, enemy within or without, or acquaintances or foreigner. Justice of judgment simply means doing unto you exactly what you have done unto others. In addition also, whatever negates the commandments of Christ, which says, "Do unto others what you want done to you." It is important, therefore, that everyone should understand that the Most High shall judge the world on the merits of each individual and collectively based on 100% of the provisions of the commandments of the Most High only. The judgment based on the commandments of the Most High is completely different from human perceptions of expectations of judgments we are used to, and hence the psalmist had this to say in the book of Psalms 143 verse 2, "And enter not into judgment with thy servant, for in thy sight shall no man living be justified." Yes, the Most High created both humans on the two sides of the divide, and therefore only Him, the Most High, has the prerogative of the right judgment based on His sacrosanct commandments, which He, the Most High, has given to us, and its consequences accordingly. For example, the commandment says in Exodus chapter 20 verse 4 to 5, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. But I, the Most High, thy Creator, am a jealous Most High, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me." So, worshiping idolatry means we hate our Creator, and the consequences come upon us for breaking any part of the commandments of the Most High in that context, even as stated by Christ in the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 18. "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled." No man can ever chart the ways of the Most High. For example, in order to execute the penalty of breaking the above commandment on idolatry that was going wild in the world, the Most High allowed a tiny country, Great Britain, who became the greatest empire in the history of humankind, which empire was used to dismantle and remove most of the worshippers of idols and their idols away from their given land all over the world, including Africa in particular, so that they can see the realities that their idols cannot save them from the people of a comparatively tiny landmass, Ireland, Britain, and its empire, which the Most High used to dismantle the idols and idol worshippers of the world, while He, the Most High, at the same time caused the translation of the Bible into English in all its colonies all over the world. And the Most High sent His tithe, elects, missionaries to preach the word of the Most High and the salvation of Christ with the English language, which is the most widely spoken language on earth. English, 1,452 million speakers, according to Ethnologue. English is the most spoken language in the world, including native and non-native speakers. 5th February 2023 update on Ethnologue, and was retranslated from English to other languages on earth, even in the midst of the brutality of British colonialism. The elects, missionaries, had used their spirit-given weapons of power of the Most High to bring down the colonial overt and brutal activities that went against the commandments of the Most High, using the spiritual warfare stated in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4 to 6. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. The required obedience were fulfilled in the elects, missionaries that stopped slave trade business and continued to spread the gospel of Christ to the world, as it is written in the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Now, nations got independence through the prayers and decree of the holy ones mentioned in the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. Having allowed nations to gain independence, and they were also given the freedom by the Most High in their hearts to choose whom they want to worship. Hear what Joshua said in the same given situation. In the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Most High, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Most High. Furthermore, the greatest gift that can be offered to a life is freedom to choose with the knowledge of the explained truth of the chosen options, which are always contained in the clear commandments of the Most High. Here's an example in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. It should be noted that after the Most High allowed the British Empire to be used as instrument of judgment unto the idol-worshipping nations of the world, including Africa in particular, they, the British Empire, also received their judgment according to their deeds in the land and with the people they were allowed to conquer. Note that worshipping of idols means hate for your Creator instead of the love He deserves of you. Find below the words of the Most High concerning hate, as stated in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 9. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Back to the story of the escapades of the British Empire, which is now the story of Babylon spoken of in Jeremiah 51, 7-9. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. As witnesses of the words of justice and judgment of the Most High, the judgment of the greatest empire the world has ever known, the Babylon of generations, who has turned against the ways of the commandments of the Most High, has shrunk and become barely a shadow of his former self. This greatest empire that once ruled the world, through which language the gospel of Christ was also preached to the corners of the world, which words were translated into English by the authorization of the Empire King, called King James Version of Bible Reference, in adopting the words of the Bible scriptures as the words of national religion, which empire can no longer qualify as a nation with any distinct identity of Christianity, but rather now as a nation of other gods. The Babylon of his generation, gone away from the ways of the commandments of the Most High, particularly and deeply by the maltreatment of other people, including specifically the dark-skinned Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High. And by this, the empire and their likes have transgressed the immutable commandments of the Most High by defiling in brutality the nations of Africa, and the British Empire had to pay dearly the penalty of the transgressions against the commandments of the Most High. The price in the blood they shed in their colonial exploits had to be shed also during the First and Second World War, World War I and World War II, of which the British Empire lost most valuables it pillaged through unrighteous means from colonies against the commandments of the Most High. Exodus chapter 20 verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maid servant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 9 to 11. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. All of the above listed were the double judgments passed by the decree of the holy ones unto the British Empire, executed during the First and Second World Wars. The book of Daniel, once again, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men. Part of the judgment was to shrink in humiliation the powers, the size, and economy of the greatest empire the world had ever seen, the Great British Empire. The empire in judgment was dealt with according to how she had dealt with nations that she colonized, with particular reference to Africa and Africans. The way the dark-skinned Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High, had been maltreated, even though the empire was used as judgment on the spirit of idolatry in the land of Africa and the world. And they went back to the idolatry of godlessness, even the empire itself. Therefore, it was made in the records of history at the height of the British Empire in 1922, being the largest empire the world had ever seen, covering around a quarter of Earth's land surface and ruling over 458 million people. It did happen that all the physical, psychological, and traumatizing maltreatments dished out to Africans and nations of the world were also meted out individually and collectively to members of the British Empire in the calamities of the First and Second World War, World War I, and World War II. The empire had a taste of her own puddings in the judgment of the Most High therein. That was the first stage of divine justice for Africa in particular and other nations of the earth. The retribution was visited over the great empire for the way the dark-skinned Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High, have been and are being maltreated, including other nations who were once colonized by the British Empire on the earth. Question: why did the judgment of the Most High on idolatry so fierce and debasing in Africa, the jewel of the Most High? Answer. The answer is straightforward. Idolatry is an abomination to our Creator, the Most High. Idolatry is hate to our Creator, who gave us the freedom of choosing Him with an attached benefit, or choosing something else with an ultimate penalty of death. And we end up turning our back against Him, the Most High, and choosing to bow down to something else. It is the greatest height of ingratitude. Every human inherited the knowledge of the spirit of good and evil, both of which became resident in us. The Most High granted us at the same time, just as with Adam, the greatest gift of freedom of choice, also given to Adam and us as the greatest gift of the Most High. But Adam, like us, allowed himself and Eve to be deceived by the lies of the serpent concerning eating the banned fruit in the Garden of Eden. The judgment and penalty came upon Adam and Eve simply for breaking the commandment of the Most High as a result of the deceit of the serpent. This was contained in the book of Genesis chapter 3 verse 5. For the Most High know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. The above represent the spirit of good and evil in us, but they are put under our control as a matter of choice. Which choice of evil led us to the penalty of death, and then the redemption through the sacrifice and righteousness of Christ as the intermediary for our sins, which penalty thereafter has been paid for concerning all our wrong evil choices before the Most High. Let us always keep in focus that the word of the Most High is a double-edged sword. Man, being the temple of the Most High, must have his temple cleansed in judgment, using the standards of the commandments of the Most High, all according to the ways of the Most High, as in the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High, which judgment had to start by removing competing idolatry spirits and gods from his land, particularly in the heart of Africa, so that each household, each man may know beyond all reasonable doubts that no idol god can save anybody. And if it first begin at us, the dark-skinned Africans of the earth, the jewels of the Most High, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High through the righteousness of Christ? Now, we shall approach the written prophecy of what the end shall be of them that obey not through the salvation of the righteousness of Christ, the gospel of the Most High through Christ. Now, let us examine the prophecy. The prophecy shall be in line with the words of the commandments of the Most High as espoused in the book of Isaiah chapter 55 verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And such words of the Most High, as stated above, are what was and is happening to most parts of the world of idolatry. particularly in Africa, the jewel of the Most High, for which the words of the Most High has to perform its enterprise in compliance and in preparation for what was described in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 2 to 3. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver. Africans, the jewels of the Most High, that they may offer unto the Most High an offering in righteousness. Question: how shall this be? Answer: the just shall live by faith. Galatians chapter 3, verse 11. But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High, it is evident, for the just shall live by faith. Faith of divine justice, as it happened against the greatest empire ever, for breaking the commandments of the Most High, and forsaking to live by the faith of the gospel of Christ. Isaiah chapter 30, verse 12 to 14. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word, and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And he shall break it as the breaking of the potter's vessel that is broken in pieces. He shall not spare, so that there shall not be found in the bursting of it a shred, to take fire from the hearth, or to take water or withal out of the pit. Now, the divine justice. Let's go to the book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 18. The Most High is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of those who hate him. This applies to those who fail, refuse, or neglect to keep the commandments of the Most High. Their unrepentant actions, therefore, are hateful of the Most High, upon whom the curses to the third and fourth generations are placed. They are also judged for justifying the evil of the bigotry against anyone, including racism, against the dark-skinned race from Africa in particular, and all other people of the world in general. This includes upside-down preaching of the Bible, laying emphasis on unfounded traditions, rituals, and ceremonies of men of religions, rather than the commandments of the Most High, as clearly stated in the book of Isaiah, chapter 58, verse 6 to 7. Is not this fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thy own flesh. Question: what are the basis of the final judgment of the Most High? That's a good question. Now, here is the answer. The basis of the final judgment of the Most High are His commandments, also known as the law, that has to be followed as described below in the books of Romans, chapter 2, verse 1 to 3. Therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgest. For wherein thou judgest another, thou condemnest thyself. For thou that judgest dost these same things. But we are sure that the judgment of the Most High is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and doest the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of the Most High? Question: what is the summary of this commandment of the law, which formed the basis of the judgment of the Most High? That's another good question. And here is the answer. The commandments, or the law, which formed the basis of the judgment of the Most High, were summarized by Christ in the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 37 to 40. Christ said unto him, Thou shalt love the Most High, thy Creator, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Notwithstanding, the time has come for divine justice of the Most High in favor of righteousness only, with all, including the dark-skinned Africans, the jewels of the Most High, and all others on both sides of the divide, according to the power of the words of the Most High, stated in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful, and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. Proclaimed according to the Spirit of the Most High to all the oppressed, including the dark-skinned colored of the earth, as follows. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 3 to 8. That then the Most High, thy Creator, will turn thy captivity, and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Most High, thy Creator, hath scattered thee, as a result of idolatry. If any of thine be driven out unto the utmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Most High, thy Creator, gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Most High, thy Creator, will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good, and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Most High, thy Creator, will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed, to love the Most High, thy Creator, with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Most High, thy Creator, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Most High, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. And for the unrepentant Babylon, who are still enmeshed in acts of bigotry, of racism, and evils against the oppressed, including the dark-skinned of the earth in particular, and without repentance, who persist in working against the universal commandments of the Most High, the divine justice of judgment of the Most High shall surely come. Let him who has ears hear, and those who have eyes see the signs, boldly written everywhere, based upon his immutable commandments, and the power of true judgment, based on absolute truth that comes only from the Most High. The Most High, who created everything, visible or invisible, the universe, the earth, and all the races, forms, and colors for the glory of his name and his will on earth as it is in heaven, the Almighty, who has raised his Son, our Christ, giving a name above all names, of whom every tongue must confess, every knee shall know, to him of whom has been anointed to judge the living and the dead, as stated in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. I charge thee, therefore, before the Most High and the Messiah Christ, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Divine justice and favor, Africans of the earth. The judgment of the jewels of the Most High shall be consoling because of the salvation of Christ in righteousness, but fearful to the unrighteous, unclean, and evil in the kingdom of fallen Babylon. O Africans of the earth, sing unto Christ a song of the divine justice and favor through the salvation of Christ our Messiah. Hallelujah. Africa, remain blessed. My name is Steve Emmanuel Mojugbe, just an ordinary messenger, an author, SERIES.com. Beloved brethren, thank you for listening through the series, The Dilemma of the World, and I hope the Spirit of Christ, the Holy Spirit, will anoint your heart to understand everything that have been presented in the name of the word of the Most High to your hearts. Therefore, remain blessed. Messengers of truth of the Most High and Christ. Thank you. Once more, this is Steve Emmanuel Mojugbe, the messenger and author. Remain blessed. And thank you.